The map picking phase has begun for the final 6. Gwen picks the launch pad, Affi picks poolside, Pack pole party, and Mudda picks icy snake. That is the map order. Bolt holes being the final map. So Gwen favoring launch pad. It was a map he won 5x on in the regular season. And it is a map that he looked really fast at earlier. Won 2 rounds back to back there, so understandable that he picked it. Let's see how he does on it. Also a bit surprised that Affi picked poolside, because traditionally I think pole party has been a better map for him, but that is what he decided to go for. Also, no surprise that Mudda wants Icy Snake. He's a good player on ice. We're going in to the match where the top 4 players advance, and we're starting on Gwen's pick, launch pad. Let's take a look. This one characterized by all the different surfaces it uses, all the technical corners, as well as the high speed parts. And perhaps most memorably, the big reactor booster jump in the ending, where you have to fly across the map in between 2 rings and then realign your car towards the finish. Very difficult to do that consistently and fast, but now you have to do it faster than the other 5 best players in the world. And we're watching Gwen right now, who goes for this high approach in the first wall. It's a line that he figured out himself earlier on in the season and used to win when this map was played in 6 lappers. Here he's used it to get up into the first place after the first 20 seconds. Now onto the ice. You want to get the exact right angle here so you can realign the car for the next ice slide and then cancel this one early to land perfectly straight before the reactor booster turn. We see Mudda and Gwen, 2 of the best ice players in the field, up in first and second, quite far ahead of Pack and Affi and the others. And it looks like Mudda versus Gwen will be the battle here for the first point. Gwen really looking good after his break, but that is a hit on the wall, and suddenly all 4 players are in the mix here. Affi a bit too much sideways, Mudda into the ring. Pack versus Gwen now for the finish line, and that should be Pack taking the first round win. 1:04.34. The winning time from Pack, and that is the first point. Second round up, Gwen, look at this line. It looks like he's losing time, but better approach on the grass compensates, and suddenly he's up into first. The other players know about this line, they just find it too risky to go for. Gwen, the only player that is comfortable driving that line, but it saves a couple of hundredths of seconds. Scrapie low speed onto the ice. This will not be the ice slide he was looking for, and he's out of the fight. And after the ice slides, we see package drop quite a bit as well. Mudda clipping together with Gwen. It's Affi up into a clear first place, just ahead of Aurel. Affi trying to hold on to this now, setting up far from the right side to build up speed through the plastic part. Will extend his lead to Aurel. With 0.3, he can almost afford to save this jump a little bit. Just gotta get through the rings. And it looked like he was about to crash, but that is Affi's round, well secured. 1:04.53 will do the job. So we're seeing times of low to mid 1:04. World record is a 1:03.91 by Mudda, the only player to go under 1:04 on this track. On the public leaderboards, we had a crash there. I believe that might have been Aurel clipping the checkpoint. It was indeed. New opportunity here for Scrapie on the ice, who lost his previous run here. Up into first, really good ice turns there to get that lead, but he throws it all away when he goes flying on the checkpoint. Has to go again in the next round. Gwen now on his map choice. Did not win the first 2 rounds. Could win this one. Just has to beat Affi in the end, who's trying, but he makes contact with the wall. And now Gwen has a big lead. That's half a second, but oh, not the line. Gwen going very low. Losing time to Affi, still enough to win. Gwen takes round 3. With a new fastest winning time. So even with a bit of a shaky end, Gwen still sets a new best time, and that is why he picks this map. He is the fastest player here. Just take a moment to appreciate how close he's actually going to every apex, every corner, every setup. He's just using all the space available on the track. It's a beautiful dance back and forth between every corner. And that is what's so difficult to keep up with. When you think about how he sets up every single part, just pixels from the limit here. Wide setup, but still enough to keep the speed. And the others are just gone. He stretches the field completely as no one is really able to keep up. 0.3 ahead of Mudda and Pack, who are driving world-class times right now. This is Gwen at his peak performance. This is the young 17-year-old we've all come to know, to love, and to fear for how damn good he is at this game. Gwen's gonna try here with an inside approach to take the final round on Launchpad 104.34. Will do it. So double for Gwen on his map choice. But he did not get the first 2. Now on to poolside, the map chosen by Affi, who was the second qualifying player into this match. And a bit of a surprising pick. We know Affi is really good on Pool Party, coming up as the 3rd map. So now, curious to see what he has planned on this one. We know Affi is one of the players that likes to go for these outside approaches. So we will see on the dirt Affi trying some outside dirt lines, I think. Question is, how much will he gain with that, and can he use it to win against these other 5 incredibly good Trackmania players? First round wasted. Lands too much sideways, loses grip with the surface. And that is going to be his round over. Aurel now in the lead, who we saw win 4 rounds here. I want to reiterate, Aurel could go on for his 5th round win in a row on poolside, establishing absolute dominance. Pack's going to try with this outside approach to try to catch up a little bit. Scrapie's still going for the water bounce. Something new that we have not seen him do here in the live runs, but there he goes into the wall. Aurel in the lead, the others are crashing. It's only Pack versus Aurel in the ending, but Pack's too wide. It will be Aurel to win. No, he goes into the wall. Hang on a second, it will be Affi. Aurel went face palming into the pole. Oh, that is disaster. He almost had it, but Affi on his map pick gets a steal of a win. Something you don't see every day there. So now 2 quick points for Affi. And he can feel pretty happy about that. Especially after an early mistake. But here, perhaps this time he'll get what he was going for. Scrapie into the wall. Now Affi in first on his choice. Little ahead of the others. Before the triangle approach. Everyone going for this by now. In the regular season, we saw about half the players doing it, but here, when you have to get every last 100th, there is no time for caution. Affi versus Mudda versus Pack. But Affi fails on the water edge. Pack up into the lead. Gonna go on the left side, Pack. Together with Mudda, this reduces airtime. They get more speed before the first water part. Easier drift setup, but again, Aurel is in first on this map. How good is Aurel on poolside? This is crazy. He wins again. 1:11:12. And that is just 1400ths from world record. He's won 5 out of the 6 rounds. Last rounds on this map. And that is really just absurd. He posted a tweet just before the match saying that he went for a 2-map strategy, Aurel. Meaning that out of the 5 maps, he hard focused practicing 2 of them. And this is probably one of them. By now, I think we can all be sure Aurel is really good on poolside. I don't know what the other map is, but this is something he has prepared and he's really able to use it to great effect here in the final 6. Once again, fighting for first here versus Affi, versus Gwen, versus Scrapie. First time we see Gwen really contesting a win on poolside. I don't think this is Gwen's strongest map, but he will give it a shot. Aurel has failed here. Affi in the lead, just ahead of Gwen, who will go for the right side approach, jumping into the checkpoint, barely getting through. Affi had to release the acceleration, and it's Gwen by about 2 car lengths ahead of Affi. Affi with the inside approach. Gwen drowns on the right side of the screen, and Affi takes a 3rd point overall on his map choice. Now finalist. Also want to specify that Gwen is still healthy. It was his virtual car that did not look like it had a good time. Perhaps just went for a little swim. Last round on poolside here. We know Pack has the 6-lap world record. One of his best maps, actually. But has not won here yet. I think that was Affi who went flying on the checkpoint. 4 seconds behind. He will not close out his match on this one. Pack in the fight for first now. Has his approach for this turn. The goal is to use the higher banking of the dirt turn to get more speed downwards later. You can see that he holds first. Mudda trying to go for the no-side approach, but only ends up crashing. Scrapie's crashed. Aurel is again up in the battle for first, but this time that looked like an awkward approach. Pack now with a clear grip on this round, and Aurel on for a swim. It will be Pack far out of the others. 1:11:12 for him as well. Looks like the level is just getting higher and higher, at least in terms of the pace they're driving. Crazy to see. And we are going on to Pole Party. A good map for Pack, a good map for Affi, who has been very fast here, but also a good map for Gwen, who won 2 rounds here when it was first played. The world record driven by Mudda, though. 1:15:99. Is the target time to beat. This is a raw precision map here. Have to weave in between the pillars. Not a lot of tricky obstacles. Just gotta drive clean, and that is how you win rounds on Pole Party. The players are already underway here into the first drift now. Want to try to build as much speed as possible, and Mudda overcommits in that one. Falls out of the battle. Gwen just staying barely on the line. Together with the others. Wider setup here to build speed into the next bit. Will get that like he practiced it. Now up into first, just ahead of Affi, but we have said time and time again that this is one of Affi's best maps. He was so good here in the 2-lappers. He's so good here in the 1-lappers. You can see he overtakes Gwen after the dirt. Now the final few corners, the dirt dive turn, where you have to time your exit perfectly to get the most speed. Affi won in that turn just a little bit, Uphill drift. Gwen almost touching, almost losing ground contact. Will stay on. Will try to push for speed. Affi with the upper hand here, though. Barely on the inside of the poles, but Affi takes that first round and secures himself into Final 4. After winning 4 rounds, Affi is the first player to qualify. So Gwen has been beaten here by Affi. Something we might not have anticipated after Gwen's speedrun of the first match. Here he still sits at 2 points. A good performance so far. Oh my god, how close. Is he gonna drive to these walls? I'm getting frightened and I'm just watching. And he's sitting here with laser focus, just driving like it's nothing. But Gwen, yeah, has been defeated. Should still be poised to qualify though, Gwen. So good speed on the exit of that dirt turn. Making up some distance to Pack, and after Mudda crashes, it is down to a 1 versus 1 here. Pack versus Gwen, only 700s that you need to gain in the end. 12 here after the dirt dive, and that's a bit more tricky. Even for a world champion in tech like Pack is. So hard to gain this deficit, and Gwen here is driving a crazy good time with a good ending there. 1:16.07. Yeah, no wonder Gwen wins with that time. That is 800s from world record. And the fastest match time that we've seen on this track. The all-time fastest run in a live match. So beautiful run there from Gwen. Was driving pixels from the wall in every corner, and wow, well-deserved win. Just needs 1 more to qualify, and Mudda has gone off the track, leaving Gwen in first once again. And I'm just wondering, if you're one of the other players and you see that time, what do, you know? It's a world record run. You have to drive world record to compete. Are you going to be able to do that? Scrapie and Aurel are trying here. But in every single turn, Gwen's just gaining a little bit. And here, perhaps a little bit more speed. Scrapie into the wall. Aurel chasing him down. 0.14 here. And a tiny chance, but a tiny one at that. How are you going to beat Gwen in the ending on pole party and gain 0.2? It would take a miracle. Gwen has looked so consistent here on this track, but in the round where he's finalist, he goes too fast, and Aurel has left no one ahead of him. 1:16.60, but a win at that. He takes it. Okay. Everyone else failed, and Aurel, consistent as ever, has not crashed and just takes the win. In the absence of the others. Still a crazy good time, but one many of the others here are able to beat. So if he wants to win more rounds, if he wants to win this final round, he's gonna have to go faster, and that was an unfortunate drift there. Gwen now again in the lead. Gonna try to close it out here. Does not want to go onto Icy Snake and Bolt Holes, I imagine. 2 maps where players like Mudda will do very well on the ice. But now he's gotten some very tough competition. Closest fight we've seen. 4 players within 500. Scrapie pushing on the outside turn there to try to make up lost ground. Still gonna fall behind. It's Gwen, Mudda, and Pack in the final turns. Mudda going a little bit too high. Gwen catching up. Wide setup here for Gwen, and look at the speed. Gwen's gonna have this one if he can survive the final corners. Mudda can only hope for a crash, but Gwen takes it by 300ths of a second. That one last drift decided the round, and that's enough for Gwen to go into top 4 now and put high pressure on the others. So GR, good round. If you're new to the Trackmania lingo, GR Means good round. NT is nice time, and that was a GRNT. If I have ever seen one. We're on Icy Snake here. Mudda's map choice. This is one where he has the world record, a 108.17. And earlier we saw round winning times of 108.4, 0.5. Last time this was played, Mudda won 2 rounds. Scrapie won 1 and Pack won 1 as well. Into the first round, let's see who does the best with no warm-up. They're just thrown right into it. And Mudda has lost a little bit of time in the start. About 0.27 to the leader. That is not impossible to gain in the ending. The ice turns. We know that is the most decisive part on Icy Snake, but that is going to be harder to recover. As Mudda now falls a couple of seconds behind. Pack as well has fallen down. And Scrapie and Aurel are left to fight for it. Aurel with 2 points. If he wins this one, he is suddenly finalist. Just 1 round win away from the top 4 himself. Wide setup here before the ice turn. Will try to fling his car in, but he loses the grip. Scrapie has an open highway ahead of him. No one can deny him this win. And he will claim it. First win for Scrapie, 108.71. But that will be enough for a point. Round 2 underway. Mudda losing too much in the start last time to have a chance at winning a point. Still the only player without a single round win so far. Important for him now to get one before he falls too far behind. Here, a good exit of the dirt. A lot of speed there to catch a little bit back up the release strategy, and he has gotten past 2 of them, only packing his way. 0.05 of a second into the bank dirt corner. Mudda sets it up wider, will get a little bit more speed as a result, just inching closer. And Mudda, one of the world's best ice players, onto the ice against Pack. Certainly the favorite to win this one, but Pack's gonna try to defend. Mudda with the inside approach though to overtake temporarily. Pack throwing his card into the last corner, going too wide, and Mudda will win that one, taking his first point. A valiant attempt from Pack, but you really need a bigger advantage against Mudda before the ice if you want to have a chance at beating him. This is why Mudda picked Icy Snake. He's so good at controlling the car on the ice. And he just barely holds the lead there to win the round. And now Aurel, 0.2 behind the start. Making a mistake. Pack going too wide a little bit. Losing some grip. Still enough to stay in the round. Here we saw Mudda with a wider setup get a lot more speed on the exit. You can see that difference in approach there. And that will put them ahead of Pack. Mudda having to go a bit wide to stay alive. Pack with 2 good turns there in the high speed section. Overtaking first, but Mudda is only 0.1 behind before the ice, and this is not impossible for him to gain. A little bit late, little bit low speed. That will now be much more difficult. Pack versus Scrapie in the lead. Pack with a better approach for the second turn. Scrapie still trying to contest this one. The last turn aside, Scrapie on the inside. He will maybe snipe it. Oh, by 1,000th of a second. Just a tiny bit more on the inside, and 1,000th is enough for Scrapie to take that round. Scrapie 2 round wins now on this map, with a last round to be played. Can Mudda win and make it a tie game? Everyone with 2 points to their name, or will we have a finalist? You need 4 wins to get to the top 4 here. Mudda in last so far, but this approach right here, just early on the turn, to get a speed slide out of the dirt, is what he's going for. Oh, that is a good turn. Mudda with a lot of speed before the loop should be close to first place by the end of it here, catching up to Scrapie. Into the dirt now, and if he gets a better setup before the ice, he has a very realistic shot at winning this. Pack and Scrapie are going to try though, but now they are even with Mudda before the ice. He goes into the turn early, sets up early for the next one. Scrapie still holding on in first. The others have fallen behind. Last turn here, Mudda setting up early. Scrapie going wide. Scrapie holding it together and beating Mudda in the ice section to take 3 wins on Icy Snake, Scrapie's finalist. Scrapie just 1 round away. And this is why you should never underestimate Scrapie. He got 2nd place in a similar format 1.5 years ago in the winter 2020 season. That time only losing to Carl Jr. He also has a 3rd place in this tournament from another season as well. So Scrapie, he's one of the best when it comes to 1-lappers and 2-lappers. He really shines in this format more than the 6-lappers. And here, with 1 more round, he could join Gwen and Affi in the top 4. Will need to beat Pack, the 2016 world champion, Aurel, one of the most consistent players in the field, and Mudda, who is one of the best up-and-coming players in the Grand League scene. But this round, one of them have fallen already. Now just Aurel and Pack in Scrapie's way. Quarter pipe jump, important to go low and early. Scrapie getting as little airtime as possible, setting up wide here so he can go very sharp on the reactor booster wall. That will let him pass Aurel. Now just Pack standing in his way. Pack 2 rounds away from from winning himself and going to the final 4. Let me see. It's only a matter of a 10th or 2 before the identity. The ending on bolt holes here, 3 jumps in the gaps between the bolts. Pack with a great run so far, no mistakes, just needs to hit these 3 jumps, starting wide on the first one. Scrapie has failed, Pack still strong, Aurel following, and Pack will get the second one, just needs to line up the third, and he gets it. Pack takes the first round, 1:18.10 is the winning time. That is about 3/10 from the world record. So Pack finalist as well now. If you are Aurel and Mudda, this is desperation hour. You need a round win. You need to deny the others. If you want to stay alive in the tournament, you have to win. Because in just 2 rounds, it could be over. Here on the quarter pipe jump, Aurel getting it flawlessly. That was smooth. And with a good approach into the reactor wall, he is now just a car length behind Pack, who is driving very fast. Good speed here though for Aurel. Weaving into the gap. Will keep up with the Englishman. But Pack's on an even faster run than last time, or at least he was. He clips the corner and the 2 finalists are out of it. It's Mudda versus Aurel. To fight for the scraps here, they both need this point. Who will take it? Mudda has the lead before the jump, setting up for the left-right movement, getting pushed down, but it might be enough to keep going. He will have less speed than Aurel, who has to release, and Mudda might come back on the final jump. It's gonna be so close. Oh, by 1/100th of a second. Mudda takes the round win. Aurel had to release to avoid the crash. And that's gotta hurt when we're getting to the tail end of the match and he's that close to getting a point and getting finalist. Now though, Mudda has another chance at the final four. He's not out of it yet. Quarter pipe jump coming up. Aurel way too high up. Too much airtime. It's a 3-player battle. Pack with a lot of speed. He survives the turn with another fast start here, Pack. He's been so consistent. This corner is where he clipped last time. Now manages to avoid it. And this is looking like a Pack win. How is anyone going to stop him here? 0.3 ahead of everyone else. And he could even go under a 118 here, Pack. Just gotta set up the jumps. He's not even going for the right-left movement. He knows this is enough to win with. Just gotta line up each jump. That's 2. 1 more to go. And into the top 4 goes Pack with a 118.21. Pack's made it to, well, the next round. One spot left. Scrapie is finalist. Mudda and Aurel with 2 points each. And this is about to conclude. We have the final round on both holes. If either Mudda or Aurel wins, then we go back to Launchpad. If Scrapie wins here, then it's over. But Scrapie has a slow start. And this could mean that we will have a double finalist situation. Scrapie's losing more and more time. Scrapie's out of it. Whoever wins here from Aurel and Mudda will be the next finalist. Just 1 round away from the top 4. Very important round here. And they are neck and neck across the grass now. Into the full speed part. Mudda, a full speed driver for many years. Known as one of the best Trackmania players on wall rides, on loops, and on stuff like this. But into the tech part, Aurel the favorite. And now the jumps, we'll see who has the most speed. It is Aurel before the first jump. Setting up for the movement, he gets through and he has the speed advantage. Mudda can only hope for a mistake, but Aurel is precise as a sharpshooter. Takes the last jump and takes the round win. Aurel is finalist now too. And as we go to Launchpad, it is Scrapie and Aurel with 1 round to go. Mudda needs 2 back-to-back. This is the final map of this match. And I don't want to say it, but should Mudda win here, there will be a sudden death round with 3 finalists. And it just so happens that Mudda has the world record on this map. A 1:03.91. One of his strongest maps here. It has a lot of ice. Mudda's a good ice player. He could turn the tide on Launchpad, but he needs an incredible clutch to do so. It could very well end this round with either Scrapie or Aurel closing it out. Out of the first turns though, Mudda in the lead. Here, important to stay on the grass if you fall off. That could be bad. Mudda still in the lead before the ice turn, and this is where he has to get a gap. This is where Mudda shines on the ice. His best surface. He will get a bit of a gap, but Scrapie is within distance to fight him for this win. Aurel has lost way too much time, so it's a 1 versus 1. Mudda versus Scrapie. Scrapie only needs to catch a 0.16 to advance into the top 4. He has more speed on the plastic here, Scrapie. Getting a little bit closer before the reactor booster jump. Jump through the 2 rings and turn sideways. Who's going to get the most speed? Scrapie hits the ring! Scrapie has crashed! And this means we're going to a triple finalist situation. It's all coming together. Whoever wins this round goes to top 4. Last time Aurel won 4 rounds on poolside. Scrapie really good on pool party, but now it's all coming down to Launchpad. Mudda won the first round. Scrapie's losing ground here on the grass. Needs to keep up with Mudda to the ice. Cannot afford to be behind Mudda before the ice section. We know Mudda's gonna do 2 perfect ice slides here to try to get in lead. Scrapie's keeping up though. Out of the first corner, into the second one. Mudda's extending. Aurel is losing a little bit, but will get it back here. But look at the gap Mudda has built up on the ice. It's 0.2 of a second. He goes a little bit too wide on the grass, and this allows Scrapie and Aurel to come back to have a chance. Now is when you gotta push everything. Go all in. Because you have to win, and they're side by side with 2 turns left to go on the identity jump. Aurel really trying to push every corner here. Scrapie in the lead before the jumps. Aurel setting it up sideways, trying to turn in early. Where is Mudda? Trying to go for speed. Scrapie has it though with 0.04 of a second. Scrapie takes it and goes to top 4 by 0.04 ahead of Mudda and 1100 ahead of Aurel. What a round. What a round to decide this match. You can't even blink. 0.04 of a second. That's the gap in the triple finalist situation. But then we have our 4 finalist players. Gwen, Affi, Pack, and Scrapie. 3 of these players, Gwen, Pack, and Scrapie, all have a 2nd place in Tmgl playoffs. And all of them lost that final to Carl Jr. Now they are going battling to see who gets to the top 2, and perhaps who will lift the trophy when Carl Jr. is not in the playoffs. We'll see the next match.